Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Sign up for PrizePicks today and use that promo code Leading Off when you do. It's me, Joey P. That, of course, is the Welsh, and it's you, the Peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, talking baseball here, as we do every day. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB, and click that little bell till it goes ding so you know every time Leading Off is happening, so you don't forget. And also, the trade video is out. The waiver wire video is going to be recorded just hours from now. It'll be up tomorrow morning. So get excited, kids. Welsh, I want to get excited here about the Blue Jays. Let's start with this because not 1, not 2, not 10, not 15, not 17, not 18, but 20 runs. So if you had the over in the Blue Jays game, chances are you cashed. I don't know what you could have teased it up to, but what a crazy night there. A lot of these runs did come later on in the game. George Springer hit his 7th home run. Guerrero hit his 8th home run. Chapman hit his 7th home run. Danny Jansen. What an incredible night for the Blue Jays, just playing home run derby against the Rays.
You got to love when the one team covers the over too. And you got to love when position players come in. It's like free stat day. You know, that's the giveaway. It's free stat day because Luke Raley comes in and grand slam to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You had, was it 2 or 3 position players pitched? Because I know Christian Betancourt and then Luke Raley both pitched. Yeah, it was a disaster for the Rays. It was an absolute disaster, but an offensive juggernaut. I think I was looking, and I think every single J who played scored a run except for Brandon Belt, and like every single player had a hit in that game.
What a loser.
So it was awesome. What a loser. Brandon
Belt, what a loser.
Neck.
20 runs, didn't score one of them. What kind of loser are you? This tall neck. Well, nobody can possibly match Mike Glennon in terms of tall necks. I think we can all agree on that one.
Go look at Brandon Belt again and then question that.
Oh, I don't know. Mike Glennon
pretty big neck going on.
He could see over any offensive lineman to the horizon line, I'm pretty sure. So an incredible evening last night. And of course, we got to talk about this because Bizarra Jizza is on it. Morel again and again. Christopher Morel homered in a 5th straight game. He also walked Tuesday against the Mets in their victory in the Cubs victory over the Mets. But it's crazy. 9 of the last 12 games. Yeah. He's gotten a home run. He's gotten a hit in every single one of them. He's got 367 batting average, a 404 OBP, 980 slugging in 52 plate appearances. He also has struck out every game, which is the thing we keep saying about him.
37%. It's one of the wild. This is why I said the other day, this is like old peak Javier Baez, like crazy numbers and then like crazy strikeouts. And yet he just does it. Cause like, that strikeout stuff is not sustainable. Obviously 9 homers in 12 games or whatever the hell it is not sustainable, but he looks like a monster. And by the way, shout out our friend Dennis Sidler from Sid's Graphs, who is providing the helmet. It's actually doing a signing with Chris Morel on Monday. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but we're going to get behind the Christopher/Chris Morel thing on Monday. or Tuesday. I'm going to have him ask him.
You should get a picture of you guys all together. We'll put it up here. So that'll be fun. Does he either sign it correctly, like on the actual merch, or is it just like completely on the table or somewhere else? Like, I feel like it's either or with him, right?
So like every third card is like completely scratched.
Every third card is like, it's just like one part of his signature and the rest of it's on the table itself.
He should just add a K to his name somewhere. That would be fun.
Look, this is an incredible run. I'd be shopping this guy everywhere because he's basically given you like a month and a half's worth of counting stats, I feel like, in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're already ahead of the game. See if you could put him out there. Somebody might just go, this is the greatest superstar, but I think the Baez conversation from yesterday holds true, especially when you start to look at some of these K numbers that, are very, I'd sort of say illuminating, to say the least. Pete Alonso hit his 18th home run against the Cubs in a losing effort. Juan Soto homered in Washington. But I want to talk about Juan Soto. I saw a fun breakdown of Juan Soto this morning, and I want to talk to you about it. So Juan Soto is taking less walks over his last 50 at-bats, and wouldn't you know it, he's hitting more home runs and hitting better. Perhaps he's been too patient at the plate. He's got a great batter's eye. We all know that. But perhaps, in some of these leagues where you have the OBP monster that is Juan Soto, you're willing to go from the 400 OBP to maybe the 370 range if you can get these home runs and RBI totals and runs scored up. And I think that's a trade-off I think we're all willing to take. And maybe it's just a matter of Soto being more aggressive, kind of like he was before, I guess, all of the line of protection dissipated around him in Washington. I feel like I feel like he fell into some bad habits in his last year of Washington because nobody was throwing this guy strikes. And he just got a little bit too disciplined almost. And since he's gone to San Diego, I think he's forgotten that they have to pitch to him because there's too many other guys around him. I think the more aggressive Juan Soto that you're seeing is the reason why you're getting a little bit of a Juan Soto renaissance right now. What are your thoughts on Soto?
Yeah, I mean, you can see something when a guy is too patient, you might put yourself in bad counts. And like one of the points here is his strikeout rate is like the highest of his career right now. And that's weird to go with a 400 OBP guy and to also think like he's trying to be more offensively put. But, you know, if you are out there and you're not picking early counts to try to attack, and then you're playing off of your heels, because his walk percentage, it has decreased for 3 straight years, but it's still like about 20%. It's like top of the league. But if you have like an over 20, that almost 22 strikeout percentage, he's obviously just put himself into bad counts, you know, getting to 2 strike counts, and he's just not able to jump on it. So this is what we want. This is the offensive Juan Soto we want. It's starting to turn around. He's only got a 260 batting average. XBA is in the same exact spot, 259, but it's an over 400 OBP. I think these are great early signs. This is why you went and bought back in on Juan Soto when he was struggling, because people are freaking out about Juan Soto in April.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
And I was certainly not one of these people freaking out about him. Juan Soto, it was last 46 at-bats, just to back up all the stuff I'm talking about. This is over at fantasypros.com, where you can go and you can hit all the stats and sort them by, you know, certain time frames. 4 homers, 5 RBI, 7 runs scored in his last 46. Also 4 stolen bases. Just want to throw that out there. He's hitting 370 with a 482 OBP, a 761 slugging, and a 1243 OPS. That's pretty good. And by the way, 10 walks, 10 strikeouts. So we're even there too. So Juan Soto has emerged in a big way. And it's great. Like if you actually started to, you know, have some patience with some of these stars that you drafted, you're being rewarded, but it's also good for him to get out there into Washington too. Aaron Judge cannot be stopped. Thank goodness I picked him, and I paid attention to those Orioles stats I saw last time, because not only did he hit a home run for me, he hit a home run for the Yankees. So that's good. He finally broke that cold streak I was on. God, he tied up the game as a big homer. He's got 8 home runs in his last 9 games, hitting 429 with a 17-17 OPS over that run. Here you go against Baltimore since 2022. You ready for this, Welsh? 367 batting average, 12 home runs in 22 games with a 1349 OPS. Holy crap. Every time you see the Orioles against the Yankees, if you don't take every single Aaron Judge prop for the over, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you got to invest in this guy against the Orioles, because Welsh, it's clear they have no idea how to get this guy out.
No, no, they do not. They can move walls in, out, to the side. They can put walls on top of walls. It doesn't matter. It's not going to stop Aaron Judge. He's a home run hitter to pick. I don't want to pick him every single day again. But I don't want to play Joe from last year. How many of your homers do you think were Aaron Judge last year?
I had a lot of him and a lot of Alonso, but that's just called good strategy. Like,
but again, Aaron Judge,
guys that hit the most home runs.
I think Aaron Judge hit more homers than any person guessed in the contest. So Aaron Judge technically won the home run contest last year. I think that's correct.
I don't remember that. I think Wonky would probably know that data. Wonky, maybe if you could throw that up there. What was the grand total number of the winner last year in the home run contest? Because that, you know, if it's just Aaron Judge, then you just could pick Aaron Judge every day.
I feel like it was like
that's no fun either.
49, maybe 50. It was somewhere in there. I mean, I was there up until the end of the year. I just don't remember what the number was, but we were sitting in the 40s for a while.
Yeah. Also, Lourdes Gurriel, who is another player that you talked quite a bit about going into this year, is like a really nice value play pickup. He's been really hot this month. I want to talk about him because besides Morel, I think if Morel wasn't doing what he was doing, we'd probably talk more about Gurriel, but we haven't. 382 batting average right now, with 7 homers, 14 RBI over his last 18 games since May 1st. So that's pretty incredible. Now, he did sit yesterday, give him a day off, but Welsh, you know, obviously he's not going to hit 382 the rest of the season, but what do you think is different with Gurriel this year as opposed to what we've seen in the past from him in Toronto, where he was a player that kind of teased a lot of this? Batting average always a strong suit, but power was really just, I think, frustratingly not part of his game. But it seems like, at least in this run he's on right now, that seems to be going in the right direction. So have you seen any adjustments here with Gurriel that make you, I would say, bullish on him for the rest of the season?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's more aggressive at the plate. He's also barreling. If you want to talk about what's the biggest difference, last year he had an under 4% barrel rate, and this year it's over 9. It's closing in on 10. The Diamondbacks pretty much have trusted him hitting 3 or 4, and that was kind of the big thing in the offseason I was talking about was watch out, because if Lourdes is hitting 3, you've got guys like Rojas and Carroll hitting in front. You've got Walker behind him, who is, really is a stud, and that's going to put him in a situation to score a lot of runs, a lot of RBI. The power output was something we were all hopeful for, and it's simply been for him about more barreling. He's hitting the ball a little bit harder. He's just making better contact overall. Who's to say whatever it was in Toronto, but a new destination, being put in a prime RBI spot, he's picking up. And maybe that's something to consider too. Maybe a little bit more on the gamer side, where put Lourdes in those key situations, put him in RBI, put him in running and runners in scoring position spots, and he's going to thrive a little bit more.
Do you think the Diamondbacks can hang in this race? Because I know the Padres have scuffled. We know the Dodgers injuries and what's going on. Do you think Arizona has what it takes to hang in there? And if they do, what has to happen besides Marte and Gurriel continuing this and Corbin Carroll being good? Like on the pitching side, what has to happen besides Zach Gallen for them to hang in this division?
Bullpen. They've got their bullpen is absolutely atrocious. It's one of the worst in baseball. Scott McGuff wants to give them away. Miguel Castro. They're leaning on Miguel Castro and Chafin. So can the Diamondbacks do it? Sure. I don't know what Torey Lovullo is doing. They're running less, which is super frustrating. I think offensively they're set. I think they could always use one more big power bat. I think that would play really well, but their main focus should be pitching. Like Ryan Nelson and Tommy Henry are getting away with stuff. Brandon Pfaadt is turning some stuff around. We actually talked about that on Rates and Barrels, and Eno actually said that he sees some big signs, stuff plus in the majors for Brandon Pfaadt. He actually has a 120 plus on his slider and his changeup. Brandon Pfaadt does. His fastball is league average. So he's turning it around. You need one more good starter, and you need to rehaul the whole bullpen, because that thing is an absolute disaster. So with that said, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you get 3 or 4 new rotation / bullpen pieces. So I think it's going to be tough for them to fully.
Bullpen pieces I think could be had. I think you could always. That I think is the easiest thing to find as you get to the trade deadline, because there's teams that want to just jettison these guys, and there's guys that pop every year out of nowhere that are having good years, and the next year they blow up again. So, teams are ready to get rid of those guys.
What the big question is in this?
Easier to take, and they don't cost you as much in terms of prospects. Like if you went out there trying to get a real big time bat, it's going to cost you big time prospects. I don't think Arizona wants to do that, but I do think that you want to, if you want to fix the bullpen, you could go to it and say, hey, Kansas City, come give me, a Aroldis Chapman and see if we can get him into a groove for, the last 2.5 months of the season.
But see, you're bringing up something that I know we've talked about. It's like, when is the Band-Aid going to be pulled? When will the first piece of the Jenga that's going to make it fall happen in the trade market? Because we keep talking about teams can do this, teams can do that. No one's trading. Everybody's in it. Every stupid team is either 28-20 or 20-28. It's just not enough.
I think by mid-June, you'll have that answer. And I think the first shoe to drop is going to be Eduardo Rodriguez of the Tigers. Because the Tigers have to be realistic with themselves. I don't care where you are in the standings or where, other teams in the Central have struggled. I don't care. You're not a competitive team. And I know they want to prove to the fan base that they have something to show for all these trades that they've had, but they can't win the American League. Crazy. That can't happen. By the way, you have the answer. 57 was the number of home runs. Go Cards was on it. Thank you, Go Cards. So yes, if you just picked, it was close though. Aaron Judge's 62 and then his 57. So it was pretty close. So you can't rely on it. You got to have more than just Aaron Judge alone. Let's get to the rookie Lookie. Mickey Moniak. Can Moniak be stopped? I mean, here you go. 418-foot home run on the second pitch of the game.
My God.
An exit velo of 104.8 on that home run. So far, he's slashing 419, 438, 935 with 4 homers, 7 ribbies, and 32 plate appearances. And guess what? Taylor Ward was sitting his rear end on the bench again for Mickey Moniak. He's going to be in the waiver wire. Spoiler alert. I wish I picked him up for $1 last week. I didn't. It was floating around there, and I was like, it's probably just a good week, whatever. And I'm mad because now it's going to cost me more than $1. I'm sure of it. So, is this it? Is this the Taylor Ward? You're now a bench player. Mickey Moniak is the guy for the foreseeable future, because it's starting to feel like it. Well, it's starting to feel like it.
I wouldn't say that he just has the job the rest of the year, but he's going to get all the opportunity unless he proves otherwise. Listen, Moniak has got a little bit of Chris Morel in him as well. Don't forget about that. His strikeout rate's around almost 35%. He also doesn't walk. 3% walk rate he has, which is one of the lowest of his career. He's doing that almost 35% strikeout rate, a 3% walk rate with a 560 BABIP. A 560 BABIP. That is not going to maintain. So here's my problem, and here's ultimately my problem. He doesn't walk to get on base. When he regresses down to the means of whoever he's going to be, it might still be a great player. It might be a 300 hitter that'll come back down. But if it's not, and it's coming down and down, he doesn't help himself by not striking out. He doesn't help himself by walking. So guess what? He's going to get all the opportunity because he's a monster right now. He's a freak. But I think he has a lot less wiggle room than you guys are giving him credit for, because they have Taylor Ward, who they're not willing to give up on. Jared Walsh just came back, and they got stupid Joe Adell, who's in the minors hitting 119 mile an hour. So just to anoint Mickey Moniak as the guy, I think it's silly, but at the same point, like, I don't even think we need to talk about other players right now, because Mickey Moniak is doing this stuff. Feel good. If he's out there, you should have picked him up. You should have picked him up. If he's there, go pick him up, ride the wave. But just be aware, 35% strikeout rate, 3% walk rate, not super sustainable unless he keeps it up at every step of the season, which he's doing right now.
He's doing right now. But like I said, if you need to stream somebody, stream him. Like, why not? But yeah, he will turn into a pumpkin eventually. I do agree with that. And I've never been a Moniak guy. I mean, when he was drafted by the Phillies, you remember, I was like, I can't believe this is everyone's consensus of the best player.
It was a weird one. I'm trying to think.
A very weird draft that year.
I'd have to go look. He went over somebody. Like, he was one of those weird guys that went.
At least. Maybe even 7 years. It might have been like 2015 or 16 when he was drafted. I can't quite remember. But I'd like to find that out. I want to see what that is. Meanwhile, let's talk about another rookie. Bobby Miller held the Braves to 1 run in 5 innings. To get a win his major league debut. So remember yesterday when we were fading Strider a little bit, I thought it was a good idea. Well, it worked out. The average fastball, by the way, the 4-seamer, 99.4 for Bobby Miller. He was throwing smoke yesterday. So I don't know how long he's going to stick in that rotation, but Gavin Stone hasn't exactly lit the world on fire. So
not exactly on fire. I don't think he looked good at all. He settled down, but we were talking about it. He had some insane thing where Gavin Stone had like 14 whiffs to 1 strikeout in his start, and he lived off of his changeup. Bobby Miller definitely showed a much bigger arsenal. He was 31% fastball, 27% slider and changeup. He just didn't get the whiffs. He had a 19% whiff rate. CSW was 21%. So all that's telling you was like, he wasn't fooling a ton of people. He also doesn't have good separation between just changeup and slider, but he, can pump a 90 mile an hour slider. He hits 100. It was way in the zone, which is good and bad. A young guy like this, you wanted to see the command, and he had a 72% rate on his fastball inside the zone. So that's good. I think Bobby Miller has the inside track, by the way, if we're looking at who's going to take over the Dustin May role when Julio Urias comes back. I just think he looked better. He looked more poised. He was able to go 5. I'm in on him. By the way, going back to that draft, that was a 2016 draft where Mickey Moniak went 1.
He was a high school kid, I remember.
Yeah, and
that was the Senzel draft. He was 2 to the Reds. That's right.
Senzel
I was a big Senzel guy that year.
What a garbage draft this was. Look at this. Ian Anderson, 3. Riley Pint, who just made the majors to the Rockies, 4. Corey Ray, AJ Puck, some other names. Braxton Garrett went 7. Matt Manning went 9. Kyle Lewis with the Mariners at the time went 11. Josh Lowe went 13, Alex Kirilloff 15, and then the names just kind of continues.
And that's a good reminder for everybody when you play in Dynasty and you have these years where the draft isn't great, and you kind of sense when it's not. And I certainly, when Mickey Moniak was the number 1 overall pick, I was like, this is not going to be a great draft. And I think that when you see that, you have to acknowledge it, and you take these picks, or you take these prospects when you draft them and you flip them. Like, imagine how well you did if you took some of these guys and flipped any of those names in the last 5 years. And, always major league talent. That's like, again, that's my deal. You know how I feel about that stuff. Every time you wait, it's great to have the ground floor of, great young players, but feels good to get really great players that already know how to win and play. So, one more rookie, Matt McClain, 1 for 3 with a homer, 3 RBI, and a loss to the Cardinals. So he's been solid as well. He's got 259, 375, 481 slash. So not too shabby for Matt McClain. Some injuries, not a lot today, which is a nice, refreshing change of pace. Luis Robert removed yesterday, right hip tightness. So we'll keep an eye on that. Carlos Correa scratched. What a surprise. Carlos Correa scratched from a game. Bruised left heel. Brandon Lau was scratched in the starting lineup yesterday with a stiff neck. So keep an eye on that one. Those can be tricky. And the Reds activated TJ Friedel. So if somebody dropped him, go pick him up. If not, if you have him, go activate him again because he's been pretty solid all year. Gerrit Cole, congratulations. Got his 2,000th strikeout. He only had two Ks in the game, so he barely got it. So he is the 87th pitcher to hit 2,000 strikeouts. He is also one of 9 active guys to have 2,000 strikeouts. So Peanuts and Cracker Jacks, let's go. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks in the chat. Give me the 8 other guys that are active.
Scherzer, Verlander.
Quote unquote. Scherzer, Verlander are 1 and 2. We already know that. So who are the other guys out there? So Peanuts and Cracker Jacks, over 2,000 strikeouts, active guys. You've got, let's see, 6 more to go. Let's post them in there. And let's continue on here with the 3 up and 3 down. Griffin Canning, outstanding yesterday against the Red Sox. 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 innings of shutout baseball. Goldschmidt, 2 for 4, not 1, but 2 solo home runs for Goldie. And Nady Eovaldi, the greatest pitcher who ever lived, 5 Ks, complete game. Unbelievable. Another 1 earned run, 9. I mean, Nady Eovaldi has been Jacob deGrom for the Texas Rangers. He is an absolute beast, man. So good. So good.
You know what's funny? I used to call Andrew Heaney baby deGrom, and it's actually been Eovaldi as a teammate. So that's been the funny one.
Casey got one. Kershaw is one of those names, and Bizzarrizza Jizza got one. Wainwright. Rich Hill is not one of those names, folks. Zach Greinke is. So there you go. Trevor got it on there. Charlie Morton, not quite. Not quite Charlie Morton there. And no, it's not Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom is at 17. He's got 1,600. He's nowhere near it. He's never going to get to 2,000. It's never going to happen. Ashcraft, he was terrible. I think we should start calling him Ashcraft because I just like that's how he pitches. 5 innings, 10 hits, 7 earned run, no walks, 2 homers. His ERA is over 5.5. Tylo the terrible was terrible. 3 2/3, 4 earned runs. They skipped Senga so that he would be on a different day's rest there and avoid Colorado and all that stuff. So 5 Ks, 4 earned runs for McGill. And of course, the Tampa Bay Rays bullpen. Taj Bradley kind of broke even. Had a lot of strikeouts, didn't pitch all that great, was kind of inefficient, but then it just kind of completely got out of hand. 15 earned runs after Taj Bradley left that game. So pretty crazy. Some other names here. I'm trying to look here. Bumgarner is one of them. Technically, he is active this year. Chris Sale, also one of those names. So Doobie got it and Fred got it.
How many are we missing then?
We are missing 1. And I don't know if he's still active technically. The last one is Cole Hamels. Wasn't he just signed recently?
He was. Actually, he was with the Padres. He was just with the Padres in spring training, but he's,
so
I don't know what
you got them all.
Now.
Good job, Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Well done. All right, let's get to that time again to pick some prizes. Head over to PrizePicks or just download the app. Use that promo code leading off, sign up, get 100% deposit match up to $100 when you use that promo code leading off on PrizePicks. Welsh, pick some prizes.
Well, they got their little promo going on. It looks like it's like a Taco Tuesday, but it's on a Wednesday. There's like a little taco guy. It's like their Taco Tuesday thing. But what they did was they cut down a couple of the strikeout props. So I'm going to take advantage of that with Shane McClanahan, who went from, I believe, on their platform 6 down to 4.5. So I'm going to take the 4.5 strikeouts on Shane McClanahan. I will pair that with Yusei Kikuchi. Earned runs 2.5 over, and I'm going with Christian Walker, who's got a good career versus Ranger Suarez. Just trying to pick on Ranger Suarez today, actually. Christian Walker fantasy score 7. So McClanahan strikeouts, Yusei Kikuchi earned runs, and Christian Walker score all over.
All right, I am going with James Paxton, 5.5 pitcher strikeouts over. Aaron Judge, I know it's a big number, 9.5 hitter fantasy score. I don't care, over until it breaks. I'm going to continue to play it. Juan Soto, 1.5 total bases over. We just talked about how he's locked in. So these 3 guys, I'm going all in on. Also going to go in on Boston. So I'm in on Paxton. I might as well be in on Boston on the betting side. Again, head over to, Betting Pros or just download the app and join our bettingpros.com leading off group. Follow us on BP for all of our daily picks. Boston minus 108. You can put that together with the Mets at plus 108. You can have a good day there. Bryce Miller. Interestingly enough, that number is kind of low for me. 5.5 is the number for the Ks. I'm going over that. It's going to be minus 140, but I think you can put it with something else and make it work. Again, Paxton, 5.5 Ks, minus 112. This is a very good one. And then it's Aaron Judge season. So you can go with plus 165 for getting a single. You can get to record an RBI plus 115 you're getting. To record a hit, the juice is terrible. It's minus 240, so you don't want to do that one. But to hit a home run, plus 220. And of course, I think you know where I'm going with my home run call today. Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Welsh, what are you betting on today?
All right, what I'm going to go with today, I have got Tampa Bay through the first 5. Their team total runs 2.5. Going to bounce back, kind of going up against Kikuchi again. I think his earned runs going to go over, so he would be the guy I'd be playing against. I don't think Tampa's going to let themselves get smashed and smushed like they did yesterday 2 days in a row. That's minus 110 for their team total runs through the first 5. I'm going with the Arizona Diamondbacks to be up by a run through the first 5 innings with Zach Gallen on the mound. I think there's a rebound there, plus 110. And I'm going to just go overall with Shane McClanahan's strikeouts at 5.5 over minus 135. So kind of the Tampa Bay Arizona game I'm attacking.
Andrew here in the chat just talking about he bought his first ever share of Sandy Alcantara. Hope he deals today. He's going to go meet Colorado, but interesting because I was just writing him up for the buy low, sell high little piece that we do on Fantasy Pros every single week. And Alcantara over the last 5 games, that FIP is much better than people realize. The ERA is still high, but the FIP is very good. The batting average of balls on play, too, is well above 300. I just think it's just a matter of time. And Sandy will get right. I don't think he was 100% right. Remember he had that weird little injury hiccup early in April. I don't remember, was it a biceps thing or something like that? I don't know if he's just still kind of feeling the effects or whatever it is. But again, it's very rare you get a small window even to buy on a pitcher of that talent.
I've got a weird situation in I play an Otno on Fangraphs League. It's like a dynasty format. And I got offered Sandy Alcantara. And it's a bigger trade with pieces that have to be adjusted. But theoretically, it's Sandy Alcantara at $31 for my Bryce Miller, which is $1. And it's a keeper format. I'm in second place and I'm moving up because I've got an insane roster in this. And I need a closer. There's a closer involved in Pete Fairbanks, but he's like $15. And then they only want my cheap
when
players,
you have those money and the escalators and things, those become way more complicated.
And
I think I'd rather have Miller at $1.
Well, see, and I have McClanahan and Strider in the $30 range. And I kind of want more. And I did a really good job of getting cheap dollar guys. I had Jeffrey Springs at like $12, but Bryce Miller at $1. It's a tough between the keep.
I think I
and
hold
because
it's the keeper scenario there. Like I think you could still win now with what you have. I think that's the answer to that question. And can I still possibly win now? I'm in second place without this, and Miller can contribute for the next couple of years and give you price flexibility. I hear you. You know, if there's another prospect instead, I would swap them out. But I'm kind of with you on that one. So rare, another great place to scout young talent, to put them on your roster. Go to fantasypros.com/collect today. Digital cards, fantasy baseball, all the fun things. You scout, you buy, you sell, you compete. And of course, you can compete in our little league we've got. Join today, fantasypros.com/leading off league. And that's how you join. So rare, and compete against your friends, the other Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. When we're looking at the DFS slate for today, Nestor Cortez 8.3 is interesting. The other side of that game is interesting too, because Wells has pitched well for the Baltimore Orioles. I know Alex Fast just did a fun little thing on Twitter about him too, which is interesting. Kodai Senga at 9.6 going against the Cubs today. He's really good in his last outing. Let's see what he does in this one. Sandy Alcantara 8.9 in Colorado. Again, low roster, tournament play. Interesting. Then you've got Paxton and Bryce Miller 10.4, 10.9. This is kind of where I want to live today. These are the two pitchers I want to have, and then just interchange them with the lineup, keep the lineup the same. New York, Boston, Seattle. That's where I'm looking for potential offense today. Anthony Volpe is 2.9. Ty France, 2.8. Homered yesterday. And Mickey Moniak is cheap as well. That's where you're looking for. I'm looking again. Aaron Judge, letting it ride. I don't care if it's boring. Don't care. Prime time up to 19. So close to 20. BHB Daddy at 18. Help us in Miami at 17, along with JJ, Callison, Razor, all at 17. Sir Sis back on the board at 10. So Welsh, you got to get back up there. We got to get up there, Welsh. Who are you going to go for tonight for the big home run call?
No, I'm torn. I've got two not good names that I want to play, and I want both of them. I'm going to go. Oh, you know what? I got the hat on. I'm going to go with Christian Walker. I will say the other one I wanted was Jorge Soler. I was really considering him, but I'm going to go with Christian Walker.
There you go. Razor already jinxing Judge 0 for 4. There you go. Okay, good. Good, great. Let's see. You 0 for 4 versus my complete investment in Aaron Judge all day today. Like I said, when a guy's hitting 400 against a team, they have no idea to get him out. Like, just you keep throwing it. And you know what? Can do it the next day too. Just get it every time I see Baltimore or New York, and this is just what I'm going to do. Just all in, just invest in Aaron Judge. And invest in Juan Soto right now too, because that guy has been red hot. And if you're looking to make smart investments, also don't forget our tools here at Fantasy Pros. And I don't mean me and Welsh. We are tools, but it's different. We're talking about the actual fantasy tools, which I guess could still be us. But really, the tools on the site, again, go premium. FantasyPros.com/premium. Download the app for My Playbook too to manage all your leagues. It's so easy. You got different lineups in different spots. You could set all your lineups just in My Playbook. You get specialized news every time something happens. If you're in those daily transaction leagues, if you're in those daily lineup leagues, My Playbook is so valuable. And when you go premium, you can go ahead and get that. And if you leave a comment below and you subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB, you could win a 1-year free premium upgrade, take you through baseball season, through football season, through next baseball draft season. Come on, just go get it done. I love the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, everybody hanging out with us today. Thanks to them and thanks to Welsh. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.